Now, I've already highlighted the importance of health and hygiene in the field and the fact that we need to be attentive to it regardless of the conditions. Now, I'll be looking at some of the other drills as this section progresses. One of the first things we start to address in health and hygiene is normally toilet issues. And, you know, urination normally isn't that much of a problem to take care of. Defecation, however, is a little bit more interesting in the wilderness setting. Now, depending on the circumstances, will largely lead me to sort of latrine selection, or, you know, coming to a conclusion on the best way to defecate in the wilderness. There isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. I have to be clear on that, because the environment is going to be hugely subjective to the decisions you make. So, for instance, digging a latrine pit here is pretty much impossible. You know, now the ground is frozen, so even if I had a digging stick or a good shovel, I just wouldn't be able to kind of get a suitable sized latrine pit on the go. Plus, as an individual out, you know, that's a huge amount of effort to put into covering this simple act. And this is where we have to sort of break through this, you know, mindset that we almost kind of want to replicate our home toilet in the woods. You know, sometimes that's just not practical or desirable. Now, I'm at sub-zero temperatures, so what I can be relatively sure of is that any fecal matter I sort of put in the woods is going to freeze relatively quickly. And so, quite simply, if I'm out and travelling on my own, it can be a case of just scraping the snow back to the sort of bare earth, doing my business, and then sort of just covering it over and leaving it, and then, you know, in the thaw, that will sort of return to nature. There are eminently other examples of latrine pits that, when I'm in the suitable environments, I'll be showing you. Now, what I want to cover is just that scenario of, let's say I'm out today, I'm on my own, and therefore I just need to get to the toilet, and, you know, in the cold I just need to get it done and move on. First thing I should highlight is that we want to be at least 50, if not 100 metres away from any water source if you are going to defecate. You know, we just don't want any of that runoff going in there, and that's just a kind of ethical as well as practical consideration. Now, again, what a lot of people are going to be thinking is sort of trying to replicate the home experience of toilet going, and the woods just isn't going to allow us to do that necessarily. So, if I'm out and I just need to get it done, there's two methods I'm going to show you today. Now, the simplest one is, quite simply, I'm just kind of going to clear the snow down to ground level, and I'm just going to squat and do my business. Now, the great thing is I'm wearing over trousers today, so I can show you the full drill without, you know, flashing anybody on camera. So just imagine these over trousers are actually my full sort of trouser setup. And what I'm going to be doing is taking the trousers, and this is an important point, down to my knees. I don't want to take them all the way down to my ankles like I kind of would if I was at home. The reason being, if I take it down to my ankles, my business is hovering right above my trousers, and that ends up becoming the catchment for what I'm about to do, which of course is quite desirable. By having it at my knee level, as I bend my legs, my trousers are coming forward. Now, I want to take as wide a stance as my trousers will allow me, and take as deep a squat as I can. I don't want to be doing, you know, a thigh workout, hover squat or something like that. Guys, you know, you're just going to rip your thighs apart that way. So we just need to sink down, weight back on the heels, and take care of business. And if I've got toilet paper, great. In an ideal world, I'll bag that up and burn it later on instead of leaving that in place. If I am going to leave it in place, I do want to sort of try and weight that down if I can with a stone, a rock or a branch or something like that, and cover it over to the best of my ability. Now, it's unpleasant to sort of find in the summer. Again, that's like an ethical concern. Real life situation, I'm not worrying that much, but understand that that is burnable, so thinking about multifunctionality, even though it's used toilet paper, I potentially have one more use for it still. Now, I'm aware for some people that sort of deep squat is going to be problematic. So what we can do, if we're in a forested area, is lean ourselves up against a tree. Now, something a little bit unique to here, what I need to be doing before I lean against anything is giving a little tap to remove the snow. So what I'm going to be doing is exactly the same again here, trousers to knees, but in my squat I can now sort of rest myself up against the tree and give myself a little bit of sort of support that way. Again, sort of take care of business and then get myself back up. Alright, if you don't have toilet paper, that I'm going to be covering in the Indian drill, and then my personal cold weather variation, the Swindian drill, which will come in a little bit later. So that's our latrine for snowy and or cold conditions, guys.